Tim and Jay. Welcome to the Retail Horror Podcast.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
I was lucky enough, you came up to me when we did the live in Dallas, and you were both there together shopping the show, and you introduced yourself, and I started following you on Instagram, and I, even just off camera, we were talking about like the size of your business is awe-inspiring. And I kind of teased it way back on stories about interviewing you and the fact that you are building a brand new space, literally from the ground up, and to watch it go from the framing to the walls to now it's being painted is truly awe-inspiring. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself so everyone can hear each other's voice. So, they'll know who's talking, and then give everyone a little background on your stores. And then we're going to kind of go back to how this all started.
Okay. Well, I'm Tim Babcock.
And I'm Jay Anthony.
And we are the owners of Twigs Home and Lighting in Texas, Emory, Texas.
And you have, so we just talked about a little bit about your location. So you have a location in Emory, which is that the large one that I see mostly on Instagram?
Yes. So the one here in Emory, Texas, we are located in the industrial park. And so we actually have 3 warehouses here right now, and we're building our brand new warehouse that, when we're done with that project, we're developing 3 acres next door to where we are. Done with that project, it will be the largest home decor warehouse in East Texas. So this keeps us busy, very busy. And so we are anticipating an August opening of the new warehouse, but the weather has really
hindered
we can't get our, loading docks in because it's all cement. So loading docks, our parking, and our drive. So it has been muddy, dirt, just, we've laid down, like I posted pictures on Instagram and stuff of us and my stories. We've been stuck. We've had to lay down just pieces of plywood and OSB board to get backed up, it's been crazy, but, and now, like yesterday it rained again, and to another chance of rain. Like every day it's raining.
And then you have the other store that is only open 4 days a month, 4 days a month.
4 days out of every month. And so that is in Canton, Texas. And that's 25 miles from us here. And it's the home of First Monday Trade Days. And it's been around since like the late 1800s. But that is only 4 days out of every month. And it varies, the days do because of how the calendar falls.
It's called First Monday because it's the weekend before the first Monday of the following month, which gets confusing. But
because it has nothing to do with being open on a Monday.
We're not open on Mondays. No.
Wow! To add to the
only on Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, but there's schedules and stuff. So anyway, but we're open 4 days out every month, and so that building is like a 10,000 square foot building, jam packed full of stuff, good stuff. And so we also have a Christmas store next to that building that is open September through January. And that's just all Christmas only.
And that will be open like 7 days a week, or is that only the 4 days a week as well, or 4 days a month as well?
So that one, the Christmas store in Canton and our other Canton stores only open the 4 days out of every month.
I know. So the Christmas store, even though you have it there from September till December, it's only 4 days out of the month.
But that's where having our warehouses open to the public 6 days a week. And in the fall, during the Christmas season, fourth quarter, we will be open here 7 days a week. That's what makes it so convenient for customers, and that they can come shop us, 6 to 7 days a week and see everything that they could see at Canton, plus a whole lot more.
You got to remember, First Monday Trade Days is a very unique situation because in the busy months, like, for example, October, you'll see 100,000 people in 4 days.
It can be just absolutely.
Yeah, it's our stores. Tim and I cannot walk through the center of our store. We have to actually go outside the doors, walk
on the porch to get to the front.
To get to the front.
Wait,
there's.
So I know every retail in the world right now is like, what? So what is, explain what this event is. Like, are you guys in a, is it kind of like Round Top where it's a long, like miles of stores or spaces?
So
the First Monday Trade Days it's been around since like the late 1800s. And basically, people bring all their wares there. Now, we're one of the larger people that actually own our building there. But a lot of people, they have there's outdoor setups, there's indoor, just open metal buildings that's just open. They're not heated, they're not cooled. Now, our buildings because we own our building, we went in, we put in heat and air, so it's all climate controlled.
Wow.
But all these people from all over, all over, want to sell their wares, from new things to used things to handmade things to...
visualize this, 3,000 vendors there in 4 days on 350 acres. People...
That is mind-blowing.
So it's a really big deal. And, there's food vendors, and it's just really really fun 4 days, and it's people everywhere selling everything.
This is where Missy from Twisted Wares would sell her things, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes,
we go way back with her. We go back. She used to sell it First Monday.
And we would in the evening, when we was there and staying in our RV and stuff before we moved to Texas, we would go out walking with her at night through the pavilions. Oh my God, there's so many funny stories with.
I love her.
Oh my God, we do too.
All of a sudden dawning on me, I'm like, wait a minute, this is what.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's how she got her start. Yeah.
So it's very rare that I get tongue-tied and gobsmacked, because the amount of business that you must do and the amount of inventory that you must hold and turn is mind-blowing. That's all I can think about right now, is like the amount of inventory. So take us back to how you started this, and what was the very beginning stages of this?
So this all started back in 1987 when I graduated high school, graduated in May, and opened my first store in July of 1987. And it was in a small 12-foot by 24-foot little building. And I was always very artsy. I was president of the art club in high school, and art's just always been a big deal with me. And so, but anyway, I started out doing balloons, balloon bouquets, doing fresh flowers, and then I made gourmet popcorn, like
wow,
caramel and cheese, and cinnamon and grape, and all the strawberry daiquiri, all the flavors of popcorn I made, and we would fill the tins also, and then ship those all over the world, and did all that stuff. And this was back, I remember real clear. At one point, I was in the middle of the night doing popcorn, and that's when was it Desert Storm started?
No, I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyway, but that's how it all started in this little tiny building.
So now we'll fast forward, because we met each other in 2011.
So, but prior to that, so he came along. He was a custom home builder in Oklahoma. And so he did that for 30 years.
Oh, okay.
But, and so anyway, and then, but through the years, to grow the business, I grew from that little 12-foot by 24-foot building, and I grew into a larger building that we actually brought in a double-wide mobile home. And my parents had some land next to their restaurant, and we parked it there, and I turned the front of it into completely remodeled it, and grew to that size, and then actually moved into a downtown location and to one of the old downtown buildings, like you would see at a lot of places. And then that just grew. Business just kept growing and growing and growing. Got married, had 3 kids. They all grew up in the business, and had a full-service garden center, two-store interior store, full-service flower shop, and then another store called the Country Cottage, and it was all real country and rustic. So, and then at one point, I opened up 2 more flower shops in other towns, so I had a total of 3. That was extremely stressful, but it was a good learning experience.
This is stressful. No, this ain't just this.
So anyway, so then fast forward, the business, it was just very, very busy. Had a great following, great customer base in Kansas. And really just was getting so burnt out on just, because we're talking 100 miles per hour full time. 100 miles per hour, I was going full time. And so anyway, so Jay and I, we met, and then we ended up moving here to Texas. And, he retired from building homes.
Yep.
And that was very stressful.
That's a stressful business.
And, and so we moved here, 8 years ago it's been. We've been doing Canton for 15, but we traveled back and forth. We traveled the United States, done big shows like the Houston Nutcracker and shows all over in Richmond, Virginia, and all over, but big shows. And we had a 40-foot gooseneck trailer and our big truck, and
away we went.
Travel.
That's where we got, because basically we got our start in, I don't know if you remember back, but when they first introduced the moving flame technology candles that Disney created.
Yeah.
The flame looked like a real candle. Well, Tim and I were on the ground floor of that. And at one time, we were probably largest.
We was one of the main players in retailers of those candles.
Wow. That's why Twigs Candles is your email.
Yeah.
So that's why Twigs Candles is your email.
Because it's just kind of sentimental to us.
Yeah, and that's really how the name started, was Twigs Candles. But I've had the name Twigs. It was Twigs Floral. It was Twigs Interiors. It's always been Twigs.
What happened to the popcorn business?
Well,
I have to ask that because that was so random. It's like, wow.
The popcorn business, just because they're just time-wise and you know how things kind of go. It's on, and I just felt that there was other things to do besides that.
Yeah.
Now, I loved it, but there was just, I had to finally get to a point, where I had to pick and choose. Okay, do I want to still do that? Because that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And,
so it's a completely different service than retail. Food is retail, but it is,
right.
It is completely different.
And I think, did I leave that out? When I had all those businesses, I also had it was called the Secret Garden, which was a bistro that we had next to the flower. Yeah. Yes. So I had that, and we did party work upstairs, and then we did downstairs. We did soup, salad, sandwiches, and we did a real soft opening. And I was still married at that time, and me and my ex-wife, we're very good friends. She loves Jay. It's all good, but we laugh about.
You are both married to each other.
We're both married. We both have kids. He has one. I always told him he needed more, but he's got one son that's in Kansas City, an attorney, and then I have 3 adult kids. My oldest son's still back in Kansas. My daughter is here in Texas, and my middle son's in Texas. So,
are any of your kids involved in the business?
No.
Now, growing up, of course,
they were.
And Brandon, he and Bailey both, they would travel with us sometimes if it worked out with their schedule, or once they went in school and would help. And but I'm just kind of glad they have their own jobs, because this is just brutal.
Well, it's brutal because you have a lot going on.
We do
tell you how to simplify them.
And don't forget, though, and when we opened the new store, we also made homemade fresh fudge.
Of course you did.
We did that. Now, so that will be coming back, because in the new warehouse,
Jay's just laughing.
Yeah, when we were in the new warehouse, we did put in
a kitchen.
Commercial kitchen. So,
I love how many things you have your hands in, because I talk to people all the time and they're like, you're doing so many things we don't understand. I'm like, this is nothing compared to what, and yeah, I do a lot of different things. They're all kind of in the same realm. I mean, for the most part, podcast is not really, but it is. It's talking about retail. But I mean, you are really like, I don't like, okay. Like I said, it takes a lot for me to get got. Like, I can't talk. What is it like? What does a typical day look like for you guys?
it starts very early, usually between 4:30, usually about 4:30, between 4:30 and 5, but normally about 4:30, because throw in 8 rescue dogs. And yeah, I love and if I could do rescue my entire life and save every dog.
Me too.
I would. I would.
But it's a handful. But anyway.
But you know what?
Yeah.
All on it.
You know, you don't do anything small there, so why not?
No. They're all in a routine. And as long as you keep them in a routine, everything's good.
They're very good.
You know, they're very good. And I know in my heart I've saved their lives. And I just, you know, that's just really special to me. I would save anything besides dogs. I mean, it just doesn't have to be dogs. I mean, I hate snakes, but I relocate.
You froze. Okay, you just froze. You relocate snakes? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, because I just don't have the heart to kill them. They're not my friend, but I just don't have that heart. I want every, you know.
You're an animal person. You're compassionate.
Say.
So you get up at 4:30 in the morning, and the dog thing starts, because we got that at 5:30 in the morning.
They're all spoiled, and then Jay is actually immediately in on the computer checking his emails. He takes care of all the office. I mean, the office, right? He does not want me first. I'm not a book person. I'm not. That's not me.
I get you.
And when we first got together, he's like, well, it was a Saturday. He was like, well, it was tax time, and he was like, well, if you just give me your stuff, he said, I'll get it all taken care of for you. And then, you know, I was like, oh my God, this is like a dream. So I went out into the garage, and I came back in with this cardboard box.
And he was only 3 years behind.
And
I'm like looking for my box so I can show you.
I was like, and he just about fell over. Like, he was just like, what the hell? What?
Well, I had to call the bank to get the bank statements from 2 years ago.
Not my strong point.
It was like, are you kidding?
I can make it pretty. The box was pretty.
You're an award. You went back and got all the bank statements from 2 years prior and had to reconcile 3 worth. God, you really do deserve an award.
Oh, I mean, that is where he just excels, is bookwork. So anyway, I can just make things pretty. I mean, you know, I just want to make things pretty. I don't want work. It'll, you know, I'm always like, it'll wait till tomorrow, you know. However, this display will not wait till tomorrow. And, you know. Isn't
that sick? I have the exact same. I mean, I understand 100% what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean,
I will say, I truly love what I do. I love it. I breathe it. It's me. It's me. But together we make a very powerful team, and that's what it takes. You know, and again, Jay, through this whole building thing too, because of his background in building, thank God. I mean, he has, thank God I'd have never done it by myself. And the craziness he's had to go through has been, just, you know, to get gas to the building. These crazy phone calls of just, you know, electric, but he knows all the terminology. He knows when things are happening. He knows what to check on. And even though we didn't, you didn't build the building. You didn't.
Well, I was going to contract him myself, but being in an area that I don't know anybody,
you know, in Texas, where
I don't know who's who and who would do a good job, who wouldn't. So I made the decision to hire a contractor to do it, because I needed someone that knew people that could do a good job.
Here's
So anyway, so that's worked, but he has still he knows what to stay on top of and look for and red flags and all this. And so it's been.
But, our volume is so tremendous that we don't even, here's a prime example. We have maybe one sales rep.
Yeah, we don't have very many sales reps.
Maybe one sales rep, maybe one.
Reps meaning wholesale or employees?
Wholesale.
Well, just like at the showrooms, yeah.
All the people that we actually deal with are actually...
Would be corporate.
We're considered corporate accounts, so therefore we have someone assigned to us.
Gotcha.
So we are a...
we're corporate.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the big people call them house accounts.
Yeah. I've watched the pallets that you have rolled through, and I look at the size and scale of your buildings, and anyone in retail knows that you have to have a mass amount of turn and a mass amount of inventory to hold that, because it's just, I think that is what is so mind-blowing to me, because in a world of private retail, you are very much the extreme. There's not a lot of private retailers that are of this scale that turn this much inventory. And like I said, the fact that you are building your new property from the ground up, where you're pulling electrical, you're pulling sewer, you are pulling everything. You're not like, okay, we're taking over a building, we're redoing it. And that alone is like just a massive project.
It really is. It really is. And again, thank goodness, because Jay knows what to look for again, and he can, but it is not for a weak person. I can tell you that, because it is stressful. Stressful.
I don't know. I'm more of I'm a major negotiator. I can't, if I'm going to come into your showroom, I'm going to spend $100,000 in there. I'm not going to pay the same price that my grandma that has the little flower shop down the street's going to pay.
That's buying one or two. So we do, and that is a art. And, but again, that's a whole nother.
But I do it in a.
No, I'm not an asshole about it. No, because, there's.
I was not going to lie.
But, there's certain things when you go in to negotiate, and there is negotiating that you do, and he excels in that as well. So
like for terms for us, I can't. But
you can't spend 50 or 100,000 and then do it in 30 days.
In that 30, I have to have. I call it dating. Where like our Christmas is going to be coming in July from some of our major manufacturers, but it won't be due until December 15th.
Then we do grow.
Oh, that is the detail.
And that's when you can do the volume that we do and have that kind of line of credit. We have an awesome line of credit, but same token.
But there's a lot of merchandise always. This week alone, which I didn't even post about, because usually I post when we get in pallets, but we had, lost track how many semis, 3 so far, but we've got Christmas in. We had 10 pallets of lighting and furniture, and then we have 2 or 3 other pallets. So, but every week there's pallets and pallets.
We also do a lot of our own design work, and we have a supplier that we work with that we have our stuff made direct.
And so we bring in containers also direct from China.
Yeah. So, okay. Now that we know how, because Tim, you were obviously the merchandiser, do you both do the buying together, or is one the buyer, one's the negotiator?
We both buy together, but Tim's the main buyer as far as having the eye. I don't have the eye that he has, because he'll say, "Oh my, we need to get 300 of these." And I'm thinking, what for? I don't know. What are you going to do with the
frogs with glasses?
But we always end up selling them. I just close my mouth. So,
and yes, there's always some bloopers in there too that you go, oh well. But I missed that one. That was too many margaritas.
There's so many questions I know everyone has, and I have to make sure I'm staying on course, because I'm renowned for going down the wrong direction. So with now that both of you have these two roles, when you approach show, well, okay, let's talk about how you're approaching the opening for the new store that's scheduled for spring. Now you are taking an inventory for your existing opening stores. I'm assuming you are taking an inventory for your holiday that's coming up in September, because I'm assuming you got it delivered in July with dating and whatnot. And then
yes,
you're receiving inventory for your new store. Are they two totally different inventory loads, or are you going to come over and shop one store and put it over there? Or are they going to run on totally different inventories?
It will all come out of the one main warehouse.
Okay. Be here. Yeah. So whatever we stock in Canton will come out of the warehouse here, because it's not open enough. It's 4 days. So if we have a hot seller and then we go over there and we only sell 50 of that item and we have 50 left, we'll bring them back over here, because it makes sense. We're not going to turn them if the store's locked up in Canton.
Exactly.
However, though, that store is, you have to walk sideways to get through the aisles almost. I mean, it's packed. It is jam-packed, full.
That would make me have a heart attack, not only being open 4 days a month. Like, I literally would be...
a lot of people do. They go, "Oh my God!" But
they don't understand.
We are so well known, though, for having the newest, the latest, the trendiest, whatever is hot. They know if they shop at Twigs, they know they're going to find it. And so we built that reputation.
Your merchandising is so good. And so I want to talk a little bit about the departments that you sell, because you're in your warehouse right now. I can see create a co-op fixture that I love, and I can see lighting. And so talk to me a little bit about, or tell everyone a little bit about the departments that you have within the store. The stores. So
we carry a huge array of things, but it all works together. So we carry decorative pillows, we carry wall art, we carry furniture. Now, we're not considered a furniture store, and I don't want to be considered a furniture store, but we carry really cool, unique pieces of furniture that people are looking for that you just can't go anywhere and get. We carry lighting for your home. We do work with a lot of home builders or people just remodeling, just somebody wanting a new light fixture. So we carry pendants and chandeliers. And
you got to remember when he says light, we have like 87 light fixtures.
Well, except with the new ones that came in now, it's about 100.
Anyway, on display there at our Canton store, we never showed them in this warehouse because we didn't have the room. But in our new showroom, we'll have all the light fixtures in it.
Plus more. And all of those light fixtures, out of those 80 to 100, that all of those, or I'd say 90% of those are all in stock.
Yes.
So we have a huge inventory. People know they can come, they can see a light fixture hanging, and then we have it boxed and
ready to go.
So we have.
Wow. That is mind blowing.
Our specialty, which you don't see it everywhere.
Which is a specialty? Sorry, because you got cut off.
Oh, we kind of specialize in the farmhouse and modern farmhouse lighting, which if you go into like Tim and I, we visited a couple of lighting stores. We were over in another city in Texas with his daughter, and we just went and visited them, but they're nothing like what we do.
Nothing. So we have a huge following with our light.
And we sell the house.
Still do floral, but we do the artificial floral, botanicals. So I don't want to. I love fresh flowers. I love being a designer, and I do miss that sometimes. But I do not want to bring in. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I don't want to do flowers again. I don't. That's just too. I love fresh flowers, but I don't want to do that as part of my business and have that worry and headache again. But we do custom work as far as the artificial flowers go and things like that. And I have a designer on staff that does that as well, because I just don't have time to do it all. Now, when I get to play in it, I love doing that. But anyway, so we do florals. We sell stems. We do, again, wall art, mirrors, lots of mirrors. Candle rings, lots of wreaths, tons of lanterns, and of course our flameless candles. Things for the kitchen, as far as not really gadgets yet, but lots of dishes, kitchen decor, things like that.
What'd you say?
Do you do personal care? Is that personal care I see on the shelves?
Pardon?
Do you do personal care? Is that personal care I see on the shelves?
We do a little bit of that, and that's something we'll probably get. I would like to get more back into. In the past, we carried we carried our own line. We did years ago. That was years ago, and I'm trying to convince him to get back into that. But again, he sees all the bookwork, the bills.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I could see that you're taking money to create yet another division instead of going deeper into what you're known for, which is, obviously home dec. I mean, it's like it's a whole lifestyle home decorative store. So when you start adding these other little departments, I mean, in order to have it that impactful, it seems like you would have to go as deep as you're going with everything else. And I just can't, because it's one of those things you can't. And I talk to people, my retailers, about that, because they're like, oh, well, we want to add some, I have retailers all the time. They're like, oh, we want to add personal care. It's like, okay, how much are we adding? It's like, oh, I don't know this line. I said, it's going to get lost. Like, it literally is going to get lost. And you're going to be taking money from something that you will sell in order to try and build this little tiny section. Like, you really got to go deep, especially with the depth that you go in with that stuff. I can see that it would get lost. I agree with Jay.
Yeah. You're not supposed to do that.
So how many staff team members do you have on your team? Because you mentioned the floral designer.
Let's see.
We have, counting First Monday, we have 13.
And do they work both locations or only Canton during those 4 days a month?
Probably the 4 days a month in Canton. It's kind of very unique. We've hired most of our employees. They were our customers. Like we had people. And the nice thing is a lot of the people that we have work for us, and it's just the way it works out. But through all the years of retail, this has also been a positive thing. And it's not to put anybody down, but I found the very, very, very best and are the people that don't need to work and that can afford that can afford the product, because
they don't need to work and they can afford. Yeah,
if they can't afford it, they can't sell it.
They're afraid to sell it.
Makes sense. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why when I say they don't have to work, I mean they're retired, they've got a good income, they have and it's just those are the people that I found
retail therapy.
Yeah, and it's just those are the people that are your best people, because they don't they're going to show up because they love it. Right. It's not they don't have to be here because it's here for the paycheck. They are here because they love it. They can afford it. So if it's a $2,000 sofa that, or they're not going to shy away from selling it because they love it. They could afford it. And,
it's an interesting, I never thought about that with some people being shy to sell things because of the price point. And I never thought about that. I don't know why. I mean, I've been in furniture forever and that never dawned on me. I mean, I've had kids that were such hustlers that could sell anything, but when I think back now on some of the kids that worked with us at Z, that does make kind of sense of where their shyness or their hesitance of really stepping in and selling something.
Yeah, and we've just found that to really be true. Now, on the other hand, just like you mentioned, kids. My son, when he grew up in the business, he was never shy, and he's in a really good. He works in at a furniture company today, and he loves selling. But he has never, through his high school years till now, when he worked for us till now, he's never shied away from. He knows how to sell, And, but yes, some of the younger people, it's just hard for them because they're, they can't afford it. And they're like, oh my God, it's just a whole different thing. So yes, so for us, we've really noticed that. And so, but yeah, we've had, and again, like Jay said, a lot of our customer or employees at Canton or here, they start out as customers.
I love that. That's great. Because you know them, they know you, they know the store, they know the product. I mean, what better employee than to have somebody that's been shopping with you for years? My God, that's brilliant.
He lives, 2 hours away from us?
She lives in Bossier City, Louisiana, and her husband is a dentist, and she drives
Probably 2 hours one way.
to work for us at Canton. She is the.
Yeah. Do you put them up out there? Is there hotels out
They
there?
take care of their own.
They do all their own, but
They do their own, but she absolutely loves it. And this is
she never gets a paycheck.
she never gets a paycheck. No, she doesn't.
Finds it in the store.
Yeah, but she loves it. It's her retail therapy. I mean, she loves it.
Yeah.
You know, and our customers love her. And we just have some really great people. Great people.
That's fantastic. So have you,
Don't get me wrong. There's been some times it's like, oh my God, we need help, and who are we going to get? But for the most part, we've had really, really great employees.
so okay, now I'm going to switch gears to, which I hate talking about the pandemic, but knowing how much inventory you had during the pandemic, how did you pivot with that? Or were you doing?
That scared us to death.
So the minute that happened, I started calling all my major suppliers because that happened,
We just got back from Las Vegas. So it was spring break. We'd been out, met my daughter in
Yeah. But anyway,
Las Vegas, just got back on, was it March 13th or?
yeah, we had just received all of our spring stuff, and it was going to be due. Most of that dating is due in
Well, April. Well, no, May. April, May.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I knew right then we were in trouble. So I just picked up the phone. I started calling all my suppliers, told them, asked them, what can we do to make this right? And my large supplier said to me, hey, we're all in this together, and we're just going to write it out, do what you can, and we'll make it work. And so
I have to say that all of our suppliers at that point, with the exception of one,
one
was so understanding and said just what Jay had said. To cancel your orders. We'll get through this together. And
don't get me wrong, I did cancel some orders that weren't in yet because I just saw that.
Oh yeah,
he couldn't do it.
But for the most part, all of our suppliers, it was amazing. And so, and like I said, except for one, and we paid them off anyway. But you don't forget those things either.
I was saying, are you still doing business with that one vendor?
Unfortunately, we are. The only reason we are is because their product's awesome. But someday someone will knock them off, and we will move away from them.
Yeah, but every time we place an order, every time we're in their showroom, trust me, I don't forget.
Yeah,
I don't forget.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people, for the people that were like, nope, absolutely not. You still need to pay it. Like, we're still expecting it. It's like, really? Like, we're closed. Like, where's it? But I understand that.
No, yeah. So when the pandemic happened, I think like a lot of people, we switched directly to our website, which we'd always had a website. But at that point, we completely redid our website, spent our dollars there, and put as much stuff as we could online. But, with this type of business, it's really hard online because we can't, we choose to not ship mirrors. And because even though we are a big business, we are a small business. We don't have that extra money. If we was to ship a mirror and it gets broke, okay, we're replacing that or refunding plus refunding.
We just don't do it.
We just don't do that. So anyway, but we made it through the pandemic. And honestly, that was some of our best years ever.
Actually, 21 and 2022 for us were record-breaking years.
I mean, everyone was staying at home. Everyone was reading. And y'all opened up before everyone else. And as far as Texas is concerned, like, what pandemic? Please.
Exactly.
Let's be real here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were giving away all the money, and it was just, it was, we couldn't.
That was some of our busiest times.
It was.
Really, truly, that is most retailers. That has been most, and now that the reality has hit, and now everyone's doesn't have all this extra income from the government. Like all of a sudden now everyone's like, we're doing so bad. And it's like, you're not doing bad. Just like you need to compare it to 2019, not the funny money, monopoly money that we had there for a couple years. Like, but everyone and their brothers, like
everything, so I can see what's going on. And I don't even compare 21 and 22 to anything that's happening now, because it's not relevant to me, because that was just a weird time.
Yeah.
I mean,
not normal.
So now we're back on track to, I know where we're should be every month at Canton, and we still do a phenomenal business at Canton.
But again, we have all of our followers, and we have people that really, we are a destination place. So we have customers that will drive, the 4 or 5 hours from Houston as a day trip just to come here to the warehouse. We have Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma.
Go there.
We want you to come here.
I have to ask about your merchandising, because again, it's very rare that I'm like scrolling Instagram and like completely wowed about merchandising. Your merchandising is top notch, both your concepts as well as your merchandising itself, your architecture, how you build it up, the add-on sales, like all of it. Like, so talk to me a little bit about how you approach show and how you approach building these concepts and rolling them out at your store.
So how we approach when we're at markets.
How you approach, like, because you like when I buy, I'm cherry picking all these different lines to create a concept, and that's how I roll it. So when you go to show, how do you approach it in creating some of these concepts? Like you had that great lemon navy display the other day, and like I'm telling you, I obviously watch your Instagram.
It's when I go to market, we do have a plan. And we have everything. We do utilize the markets, their apps. That does work well for us, where you can, the market apps do work well. But we have everything, down. We know where we want to go, what we're looking for, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But once we get there and, it's like, oh my God, now I love this and this. So yes, we try to, we cherry pick just like you do, which, watching what you do and everything really reminds me a lot of me and what I do. I just feel a real similarity to you. But anyway, so in my head, I'm already thinking, yes, when I'm at market, thinking about how we can display this, what we can do, and all that. And so, of course, we shop. We'll be at Atlanta for 7 days typically. We typically do Dallas 3 days, 2 or 3, depending on when it is. And then we do Las Vegas for usually about 3 days or so.
He does it. I play.
He does it, and he takes 1 day to play. But
lots of husbands do, so makes sense.
So through all of that, my mind is constantly thinking about what I've already got, what I'm going to do. And then when we come home, and then things start arriving on pallets. I try to put stuff together that's going to go together, and then, but I'm real fly by the seat of my pants as far as when I'm displays and this and that.
Just the reason why I asked is because you're dealing, when I'm buying in small volume, but you're buying in such big volume that it's a little different when you're starting to think about, over at Creative Co-op, we wrote this, and then and it's not like this, like 6 units. It's like we bought 75 of that or 100, so, that's why I was always interested to hear how, when you have your plan, is it not only planned based on you have to have a budget. With numbers person next to you, I would assume.
Not so much. He might, but I'm like, I need it. And I have to have that to make this look good.
Oh, love that. Well, luckily you've got the funds to be able to do that.
Oh my God.
So the plan that you have, is it a plan based on your square footage? Is it a plan based on, obviously we're buying Christmas, we're buying Easter, or is there any more in depth of a plan there other than just the holiday design?
It's if we see it and we like it, we get it. I've never really thought about space wise. of what we have room for and this and that. I just really haven't. So, and I know I'm very fortunate that way.
Yeah.
That I'm very fortunate, extremely fortunate that if I see it, I like it, we buy it. And so, but I understand a lot of people can't do that, but
I mean, that space, I mean, obviously like the volume that you do, that's the reality of it, is that that's what you get to do. And that's the beauty of, so what do you do? I have to ask this because you are buying in such large volume. What do you do? And what was the biggest bomb? Because now I'm dying to know.
The biggest bomb.
Like, was it a concept or was it an item? Because I can tell you right now what my biggest bomb was.
I don't think
everyone on this show.
It was what?
I think everyone on this show knows what my biggest bomb was.
I cannot think. Oh my gosh. Well, I
have a bomb.
There was this, I don't know. We haven't had a really like giant bomb, but that we did lately. We had these just big cages that I thought was just really cool, and we do sell them. But I honestly thought they would sell faster than, and they're just like giant big cages for indoors or outdoors. And the cages that we just got through moving a whole bunch of the cages that we put plants in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was huge. And
oh, yeah.
That would probably be one of them.
Yeah, because we only bought like 200 of them, so it's no big deal. But
and moving warehouses, I moved several already. We still have several in the semi.
Where's our cow at? Is there one around?
Oh, don't go grab the cow.
We got to show you our latest deal that we had made. Tim can explain to you what.
One of the items that is our concept that we had brought in. It's in the back where we was. Go straight back.
I think because she's like, here at my feet.
Oh, she's so cute. So cute.
It's dinner time. But, like at my feet, pawing like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, I know. That's the way ours are in the house. Jay, he goes and he's the treat giver, and so they follow him. That's mother. So we'll just.
This is our latest.
Here, can you see it from
there?
I love that.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
So we had
cement, or is it what?
It's like a fiberglass or a fiberglass.
We had them made. It has our Twigs tag.
So they
we put bows around their neck.
But anyway, that's one of the hottest things that we do. But we bring those in hundreds and hundreds at a time on containers. But
I love me a cow. I'm telling you, now that I'm out here in Oregon, I live a block away from all these meadows, and I literally find myself going up to the fence, Matilda was like nose to nose with one of the cows last week. I mean, there was a fence between them, but I have no idea where this love of cows came from. And I
saw them when you're walking and you do videos of them.
They look at our little babies. Aren't they look real?
Hilarious. That reminds me of my days of Z Gallery when we did fiberglass dogs. And then they started doing dog beds for them, and it was like
it's crazy. Now we bring those in, but
we don't buy a bunch of them.
We don't buy a bunch of them, but I love having the realistic look and up on the furniture we sell or just odd places. I love mixing in that realistic look, of dogs. We use a lot of food as well. That's
food.
Fake food.
Oh,
yeah, fake food. Fake cake.
There's a vendor that I found. I think they were in Texas, and they did all these fabulous cakes and pastries. And
we did. Well,
they're based out of the one we bought from is based out of Oklahoma, and
they do. Yeah,
she does a great job. I don't know if
she shows at.
Foam stuff, or is it the shiny one?
No, it's
more like the foam stuff.
I bet that's the one.
Shiny.
I bet that's the one.
Make strawberries.
It smells like vanilla.
No. These don't smell like vanilla.
Oh, there was one that.
But she does cakes and little torts and all of our charcuterie board things like the mozzarella and the little cheese cubes and the.
So do you sell those as well? Because, I've always gone into retail with my retailers. It's like, if you sell it, if you have it in the store, you should sell it. It's like, don't leave it just for display. Like if it's in the store, it's for sale.
Yeah.
It's kind of pricey, but yeah, we still price it. If somebody wants it, then they can buy it.
Because, it's never going to go bad. And it makes a beautiful, and people's, that have these big kitchen islands and this, it's beautiful stuff.
That's something else that Tim and I don't do. We know I know where our margins are. I know where we need to be on selling something at a certain price. And not that we're being greedy, we're not. Because any dollar that we save from a vendor, I pass on to the consumer. So that's why I have my own freight brokers. I never pay their we have a freight cap. No, you don't.
Well, again, on our volume, so and that is another thing we didn't talk about.
We got a $10,000 order and we got a 20% freight cap. Well, I've got a freight broker and I can get it done for $700 and you're going to $2,000. No, it doesn't work.
And so that's, again, there's different options for different.
Right. And I understand that freight cap's great for the small mom and pop shops because how else can they afford to get it in? They can.
Right. And so that's really good for them.
For people who are listening, though, that do some volume, getting a freight broker, like is it like you have to bring in half a container or there's palleted prices?
Yeah, I can bring in one pallet. I can bring 5 pallets. I can bring in
a complete semi.
I can charter my own semi. They pick it up and they bring it direct to me, which I do a lot.
Especially, and that is if we bring in a semi of furniture or things like that you don't want taken on, because that's a lot of things will get messed up.
$50,000 order from, let's say, Tennessee to Texas, and we bring it in direct on our own semi, and it never leaves the semi. $1,500.
So that would be something for people to look at is, because it is true, this freight cap thing. Freight is crazy expensive. And when you are dealing, and what is it now? 23% or something like that?
My average runs 19 to 20%. But I very seldom do that unless it's just something that we have to have. And I feel like that we can still pass on that freight and recoup it. Otherwise, I just don't do it.
Right.
But some of my major suppliers that I bring in semi loads with, my freight's like 4 or 5%.
But again, and it's funny because you can call on that same semi depending on the day. It's just like the gasoline prices; everything goes up and down.
It's a daily deal. So I can get a quote today, and then I can get a different quote tomorrow.
So do you just call every day?
Well, no, I usually my freight
broker does it.
My freight broker is phenomenal. He'll say, "Hey Jay, let's wait till Thursday because I can save you some money." And so I said, "Great, let's do it." And so sure enough, he'll save me $400 or $500 and we book it and it's the end of the story.
So again, that's where Jay comes in because he's in the office and he deals with all of that. And he is just a genius when it comes to.
I don't know about that, but anyway.
Well, that is his.
You could tell your partnership is very balanced. Which is, you're not all in his business. He's not all in your business, except for probably when you overspend.
Sometimes I say, Jay, you need to listen to me. You need to sit down and listen to me, and so you'll know how much money we have in our checking accounts and stuff. I can ask him today. I said, how much money is in our Texas account? Well, he has no freaking idea.
Yeah, and I'm happy doing what, for me, it's not all about the money. Well, it is, but I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
But our long-term goal is someone from California comes in and sees our store and goes, "Oh my God, I have to have it." Well, where do you sign?
Which makes me wonder, where? Well, okay. I have one more question before I ask that. But so you guys are in business together. You obviously live together, and everything in your world is together. So what happens when you overspend, or what happens when there's a disagreement? How is that at home and going to the store?
There honestly really isn't any disagreements.
No
Because
disagreements are just.
he doesn't wait till the last minute to say, "Oh no, you know." He's like, "Okay, we need to." I mean, he's really very diplomatic.
I try to project 6 months ahead on what's coming in, where we're going to be money wise, and so here's what I think. I think we need to do this. We need to cancel that, or we need to trim that back, or.
And if it's something that I know that is going to be a really good seller, or I think is, and typically it will be, I'll say, well, really, we discuss everything. I mean, there's no.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, there's not, and I'll say, but I said, look at this, and we have this coming up, and we can put this with that, and I mean, we talk everything out, and where he spends 95% of his time in the office, advising everything. I mean, that's when he wakes up in the morning. He's in the office. I mean, reading emails, checking everything, doing this, checking the bank accounts, did I ever check my bank accounts? Only when the bank called me and said, "Oh, you need to put some money in." He is so in tune with that. And so we discuss everything. But no, our life is really good. We finally got married December
20th, 2020.
Yeah.
Wow,
In Las Vegas. Las Vegas, yeah. So we had been together, 15?
Yeah. Well, since 2011, however how long that is. 10 years.
A long time.
Anyway.
Love that. Congratulations.
So it's been,
but we're just like any other couple,
We work hard. I mean, the business comes first.
It says I'm in the office all day. I am, but I have to run in, do laundry. I have to run here. We have to have groceries. We have to.
He loves his office view because it overlooks the lake.
Hell,
I mean,
there you are. So your office overlooks the lake?
It does.
We have an acre that.
And then Tim talked me into putting an office in the new store, which I agreed to, but maybe 3 days a week for half days, maybe.
Yeah, but also we are going to probably. We're going to really we've got someone that we're looking at letting them do more computer work for us as far as keeping our website updated and really trying to get we've really cut back on all of our shipping and things like that because we just couldn't devote enough time. So we wanted to maybe try to, since we've got the bigger place to bring, more shipping and, do more of that and do more, just do more with someone that's all they do is come in and work on the computer.
That's not my expertise. I don't do that.
Well, and I've done all of our current website stuff, but I'm busy doing other things. And
yeah, I mean, the volume that you're doing, you certainly can bring in a web designer.
Yeah, right. And so
come back and do IT that's on the staff and take it out of your laps because I mean, there's a certain capping point. I think that when you do it all, also, I feel like then it takes away from what time you do have at home together to enjoy life and everything that you're building. Because as much as I love what I do not want to be on a job site all the time. Like, I really want to be home. And now that I've been here for so long and not on a job site, I'm like, I also know I don't want to be home all the time because I'm like, sitting at a desk all day. I don't know how people do it. I really do. I am literally chomping at the bit to go. And I leave Tuesday for Vegas to start 180 in Las Vegas. And I am chomping at the bit because I sitting at this desk, I'm like, oh my God, I've gained 5 pounds. I can't handle this. Like, I need to be like moving.
I know. I'm so excited to see what you do with 180 because that's a great line.
It's, I mean, they ran into some challenges when they opened. So I'll be there. It'll be interesting because this will be the first part of it where we're taking down old stuff. I'm kind of renegotiating what's going to go where. We're rolling out Easter, St. Patrick's Day, like all those. And then I'll do Atlanta, which I haven't been back to Atlanta in I walked away from Peking Handicraft, I want to say like 4 years ago. So I haven't been in Atlanta for 4 years. So I'm excited because I'm doing both on my client Artful Trading, who's moving from the 18th floor down to the new redone garden floor. And then cool. I'll do 180 for the week or something like that. So it'll be like, I'm like counting the days. And of course, I'm sure when I'm there, I'm going to be like, I miss Dave.
Well, yeah. And I know we're always gone. And then we have a house sitter that comes for the fur babies and stuff. But still, we miss the dogs. But
yeah, but you guys do need extra help. So everything is not reliant on, and as well as like leave it to the person that does it really well. And it's like I am not I'm not tech. I am the worst with keeping up with, I've gotten better keeping up paperwork because I'm here, but it's not my forte in any way, shape or form. Same thing as the podcast. Like I don't do someone's like, are you doing the editing? I'm like, hell no. Like I don't even understand. Like I don't even hardly go on the podcast's website, and I'll have to go on it to pull, cause that's where you all upload your bios and your photos. Like, if I'm doing an intro, I'll go to the podcast and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many messages I've missed. And it's like, cause I don't, but I'm smart to leave that to somebody else. That is Canva is, for instance, I do not do any of the posts for the Retail Horror. That's all Danielle. Like she's got Canva down. She's got, if I tried to learn Canva at this point, like I just don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah, that's what with me. I downloaded that and I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, not today. And it's just a lot of
it's a learning curve.
Yeah, and I just I have to give so much time to everything, and that was not today. I look at that and I go, yeah, not today. But I do all of my own Facebook posting, Instagram posting, all of the photos. I do all of that, and I really enjoy that.
To the technical stuff that it's like,
exactly.
All the rest of mine, like that's easy. It's when you start doing those graphics and stuff. No.
And that is another thing that, once we're into the new warehouse, that we're really excited. We are, because we'll have the space and the staffing, that we are going to also do a lot of workshops, and which I love a big deal, right now. So I will teach some floral workshops. I know a couple of chefs in the Dallas area, and they've wrote cookbooks, and a couple of them are customers of ours. Anyway, so have them come do food demos and cooking classes, all kinds of stuff like that. Lots of different workshops going on throughout the month, and then we also. And Jane and I have talked about this. We've not done it yet, but we're talking about applying actually for a liquor license as well, where we can sell or have a wine bar or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's in the works, along with our commercial food license, which we have that, and we'll be able to also book parties where if they want to come, because we have that right now here. Like it's a destination, so they want to come with their friends and celebrate a birthday or a baby shower. And they can do that. They can eat, shop, and all be together. So
it's funny. There's a place out here. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Big Daddy's. It's an antique store.
Yes, I have. I follow them.
Shane does the most insane job of merchandising. I mean, his store is just like unreal. It's all found. Shane rents out the store space, and they have events, they have parties, they have weddings. It's all within the retail space because it's all found objects, and it's not a lot of smalls. It's like big industrial pieces, big antiques. I mean, but I think that's brilliant. I mean, it's just another way of having more revenue coming in order to, buy more product, pay the rent, build out and do more things. I think that's brilliant.
Right. So, yeah. And, I don't know, I'm just, really excited about that. And so that's a whole nother thing. I told you, I said, we'll be building another building that will be nothing but a restaurant, but
I don't doubt that. I interviewed, I did a retail roundup. So I had Nathan back on, Sarah from Occasionate, and Barbara from Daisy's. And the three of them I had on, we're starting to do these, and it hasn't come out yet. But Barbara is doing she owns her building. She built a classroom and she's doing the same thing, these classes, and she's bringing in artists. She's also moved the product. Like, she's having, Hester and Cook come and do tablescaping for the holidays. And then they'll have all the Hester and Cook product to buy, plus additional tabletop to buy. And it's in the classroom, so they don't have to go back out to the class. And I think that is one of the most brilliant things. And so the classes, I think that's just like the next wave of how to expand your business. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely where we're expanding. And there's so many, my brain just never stops as far as, there's other plans that we have. As a matter of fact, we're waiting on the bid to come back in, but adding a 30-foot by 100-foot greenhouse back behind our new warehouse now.
It's like terrain.
So, which I'm so excited about that. And not that I want to sell flats of bedding plants and stuff, but what we would do would be bigger garden containers.
Yeah.
Just pick up and take to your home. Again, have classes in that. All of our water fountains. We are expanding in back because, again, years ago we did at our garden center sell water fountains and stuff like that. So we'll be going back to doing that. And
more of the middle upper. We're not doing.
Yeah, we don't. There's a specific look that we have.
Y'all not doing the little resin waterfall to put on your desk?
Well, we'll skip that one.
Come on.
But yeah. So I love, and I really do miss that garden. All that gardeny stuff.
Oh, but, that's what anthro. That's what I loved. It kind of reminds me of you doing somewhat of like an anthro terrain kind of lifestyle house, tabletop, home products, and then just the extension of, because anthro, their philosophy is public to private. So you always walk into their stores. It's always the garden. Or, and then you walk in, as you go further, it gets more and more private as you go back towards the back of the store. That's always why fitting rooms are at the very back, intimates is at back, and the bedding is in back. But you always walk into a garden with fountains and.
Oh, wow.
So I think that you guys it very much feels like that anthro lifestyle. So talk to me, because we've got you a couple minutes because I've kept you now for an hour plus. Talk to me a little bit about when you open, what's opening going to look like? Do you have any big display moments that you're already thinking about and planned out, or is it all fly by the seat?
I guess.
Well, the first thing we're doing, and Tim's working on this too, is we're going to be doing a lot of TV advertising.
So we are going to start including TV advertising.
Promote our grand opening, and we already got in a bunch of our grand opening specials that we're going to run. Yeah, because, when those buys come along, which they do, then you have to be prepared to take advantage of them, or you won't be able to be. It needs to be, the value has to be there for the customer to come.
Yeah. So we're not going to just give away like a, like a coffee cup or, when we have very specific specials that are big items, that people can use, that people will be shopping for, lamps or mirrors or, decorative pillows, or, they're things like that.
They're kind of like, I hate this word, doorbusters. Correct. Like it kind of reminds me of like during the department stores, during the days, it was always like the doorbusters where they bought deep in these items and they extended the discount to the customer. So that is like, that's why everyone came. That's why everyone got in a line.
Yes. So we'll have several things like that that we're planning. And we've been working on that for months. And so big things like that. We're really excited about our counter. We have a 25-foot long counter that is, the top of it is 25 foot of gorgeous hand-picked quartz. It's just, or because it's a warehouse, or did we want more, And so Jay decided that really we needed about 25 feet of glass windows, so the front of it and the way, and then we discussed and we came up with a design for the front entrance. It's absolutely gorgeous with big timbers and cedar and stuff. So, but so we're talking about behind the counter. Matter of fact, today was moving mirrors, and it has to be dramatic.
Yeah,
it has to be neat. And so really our warehouse is
dramatic.
It's going to be dramatic, but our warehouse, really, we've split it in the middle. So the front, which is what, 8,000?
About 7,500 square feet. Yeah.
That is going to be heat and air. So climate controlled and fixed up more like a real showroom. Back part, which is about the same amount, will be more like just like a warehouse.
Okay.
But they'll still be able
to shop everywhere.
But we're not putting air conditioning back there. We did put the big overhead heaters in, for winter, but
so in the front, we've
let it out in the summer, people.
Yeah. So we've definitely got,
we'll have fans.
Yeah, we've got fans. That's not bad over there at all. And the way, Jay being a builder, when he placed the garage doors and all the other doors, so there's going to be airflow and it'll be fine.
So it's basically the half is a true warehouse and half is the displays and whatnot. Do you already have your floor plan done? Like, do you do it on paper or like, do you do it like instinct like I do?
Instant, I go in and I go, okay, this is what I feel today. And
where do you start, in the front or the back? When you're doing a brand new store, do you start do you have a start?
I always start in the front. I always start in the front.
Yeah.
That's just the way I've always done it. And so,
a lot of our display stuff we bought 6 months ago.
Yeah, we've been buying along. And of course, I've got, in addition to the warehouses, we have containers, we have semis, we have trailers filled. I still have a trailer back in Kansas, a semi-trailer filled with stuff.
Wow. Many display stuff.
Display stuff. Because I like to change it all out. I like to just...
It's like my dream right now. Like, oh my God, you have that much access to that much at your hands. Like, oh my God, it's like a dream.
Well, and when I was in Kansas and I had the stores there, because this was starting our 37th year that I've done retail. But in Kansas, my parents collect antiques and junk, and they just have a lot of just cool stuff. So I was always able to I'd say, Mom, Dad, can I borrow this? Yeah. And, they'd bring it down to me and, just the best time. So I've always been able to do that. And they have that's probably where I get my collecting problem. Probably because my mom and dad.
Their parents. I know my mom was an antique dealer, so she refinished stuff in our garage. So I still have this affection for vintage and furniture.
Yeah, I love all of that, and I love mixing the old, rough whatever with crystals, and I love that. I just love mixing all that.
So I'm going to ask you 2 more questions before I let you go. I'm sure you already know the questions. Where do you find inspiration, whether it be magazines or, tell us where you get inspired?
Oh gosh. I really everywhere. I will be every day I drive into work, from the lake here, and it's about a 15 or 20 minute drive. I look into the fields. I see old barns. I'm just constantly looking. I love, just flipping through magazines, which is almost a lost art right now. I love flipping through magazines. When we go to market, I'm constantly looking past everything, but I look at displays. Like I stop and I like, okay, get past everything they're selling, and if I really love a display, how was that done? I'm looking at colors all the time. But really, it's just everywhere. I'm inspired, especially floral wise. I love just taking a walk out, kind of like you do. You're out walking, and I love just that garden look that you see in the forest or, trees. Yeah. Whenever I do floral, I do a lot of, use lots of twigs and grapevine and curly willow and stuff like that. So nature really is a big player.
Me too. What would your advice be for somebody that already has a retail space that is possibly thinking of expanding?
Be sure it's what you really, really want to do. It is very, very gratifying and it's a lot of work. And, you know, if you don't, I'm very, very fortunate that Jay has that experience as far as if you're building from ground up or if you're buying a building, you know, you just want to be careful. I've been through, you know, some doozies on that as well. But you just want to make sure that everything is what they say it is, you know, before you sign on the dotted line. But I can tell you building a brand new building is not for the weak. It is very, very, very stressful.
And expensive. But
and so many unknowns that come up that, you know, so I think it's awesome to be able to expand.
Yes.
It's very, very gratifying. But just make sure it's what you want to do and that you really, really, truly 100% love what you do.
Jay, what is your piece of advice?
Well, we're just a very unique situation. I don't know how, I mean.
He's here because I have drug him through everything. I
mean, you know, I look at Canton, for example. You know, there's other vendors out there that, I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way, but we're not liked very well out there because we're so dominant. We're so.
But I mean, and you know, I mean, I'm sure you've seen that when, you know. Yes, but we take, you know, I have always taken, we both have, we've always taken, when he was building custom homes, when I mean, to me, this has never been, oh, let's just have fun. No, I mean, since I was 18 and started this, I mean, I was serious. I mean, I've worked my entire life. And I think you have to be, you know, if you want to get to where we are.
You have to, yeah. I mean, you have to really promote your business. I mean, a lot of our success, I believe, is the fact that Tim has figured out how to tap into that Facebook, Instagram, all that. Because when he gets up in the morning, the first thing he does all his postings. He may sit in that chair for an hour, sometimes hour and a half, but he gets all that done, and then he starts his day. Which, to me, that's just that's a commitment. I mean, he never misses a day, never.
No,
even on Sunday. I mean,
no, I'm very, very, I'm very committed. So I guess, you know, yes, very, very committed.
And I think building your brand is so important. I think we've done a phenomenal job building our brand.
And again, it's not happened overnight.
No, Lord, no. Just like us receiving favorable terms with vendors, that didn't happen overnight.
No, we didn't just start shopping with them and then go, you know, say, okay, we want this.
We built a relationship with those people, and
well before we.
And you know, if I have terms with somebody, especially favorable terms, that's one thing you don't want to be late on. I mean, you take care of that commitment because you don't want that taken away from you.
Yeah,
I mean, my furniture supplier that we do a lot of business with. I negotiated, which is unheard of, but it's third. It's a 30, 60, 90-day bill, which works for us.
That's great.
This time.
But, you know, we're not buying, you know, 10 pieces. You know, this is.
We're not buying 10 pieces. I mean, so I think for those people that are in that market that can do that, but keep in mind, I mean, I guess Canton is really, at this time, our biggest supplier of income.
Wild.
Even
4 days.
It's only 4 days.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, if you just get 5% of it, my gosh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. But no, it's, I love what I do, and I look forward to coming to work every single day.
And say, I don't mind. I work every Canton, but as far as me being here in the retail store, I don't come very often.
Well, no, but you're doing all the book work. Good Lord.
Yeah, but I'm still working.
Yes, I mean, he's still working, thank God, because I don't.
Yeah. Sometimes if we're shorthanded on the Saturday, I'll come in and work this.
Yes, so he does that. But I'm telling you, the way he has in the office, he has these ginormous calendars. Like, I mean, he's got everything situated in files and this and that, and there's 3 computers and they're going. And Oh, God. But every single thing is taken care of.
You can call me anytime and say, hey, how about this product from so-and-so? I said, give me the number and I can just bam.
In fact, I did that today. We was moving warehouses today. And I said, hey, he said, okay, give me a minute. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me. Everything is so organized. That's why he's in the office and I'm not.
Well, you guys clearly make an incredible team that clearly has a business that has impressed the hell out of me. And I cannot wait for people to hear. So everybody your handles for social media so they can find you. We'll make sure we have the links in the show notes, but.
So everything that you can find us on Instagram or Facebook, Pinterest, all that. But it's Twigs Home and spelled out A&D Lighting. So Twigs Home and Lighting.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
I love this conversation. It's going to be a little choppy and I'm going to have to record a disclaimer because of how many times it froze up, but it's worth it. So thank you both so much.
Well, thank you for having us and look forward to seeing you at one of the upcoming shows.
Yes.